Hey guys, welcome to Ringsiders. I'm Jamie, he's Callum as always, and we have a very special guest, a bucket list for us. She's Priscilla Kelly. How are you?
Very good. I'm still getting over my jet lag from Japan, but
Wow, yeah, I can imagine the jet lags hit you hard.
yeah, I when I went there, for some reason I wasn't jet lagged at all getting into Japan. I felt great. I slept great. I woke up at like a good time every day. And then when I got home, it hit me like 2 days later, and all this week my sleep has just been all over the place. So
I can
besides
imagine
that,
it's worth every bit of jet lag though, right?
oh yeah, it is. Japan's my favorite.
Right, let's start there then. I mean, you've just got back from Japan. Tell us about the experience. What did you do? How was it?
Um, so I was only there for like less than 48 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I flew in, I left here Thursday. I got there Friday night, and then Saturday I had my show, and then I flew home Sunday. So it was very fast, but every time I go to Japan, all I do is eat. That's my favorite thing to do in Japan. Um, I love seafood, so I went to like the seafood market and I got a bunch of sea urchin and wagyu, and that's my favorite thing to do in Japan. Like I
So
think exploring some of the shrines and stuff is cool, but the
mainly
food
the
is so
food.
good.
So the food, exploring, and then wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, food is good. I mean, I'm guessing you're a foodie because I saw your Instagram story today with that pizza, which looked incredible. And I said to Callum, I've got to ask Priscilla, are you a pineapple on pizza girl or not?
I am. My
Good,
Hell
fiance is
yes.
not.
good.
This is like a massive debate that I have with everybody, and I feel like I'm the only person in the world who likes pineapple
I
on
love
pizza.
it.
So the three of
Yeah,
us, all right. This
it
is
the acidity of the pineapple cuts through some of the heavy grease of the cheese and pepperoni, so it helps elevate the flavors.
Well, that's the most scientific explanation I've ever heard for pineapple on pizza, but I think it makes sense.
that. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't put it any better myself.
Yeah.
I just think it's delicious, and I do have ketchup as well with it though, which I don't know if
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
I have to dip it in ketchup. It's
No.
just my wife's a garlic and herb girl. I have to have ketchup.
Oh,
It's,
you've lost me, Jamie.
yeah.
Let's talk wrestling instead.
Like, yeah, sorry, Priscilla. You're probably like, who are these two English dickheads? I'm like talking about pineapple on pizza, but I had to, like, obviously I saw some of the clips from TJPWs in Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people we speak to as well. The goal's always Japan. It's always I want to get
Mm.
to Japan. Has Japan always been your goal? I know obviously you've wrestled all over America, but was Japan always a big goal?
Yeah, I've been to Japan like 3 or 4 times before WWE. So I had been like when I was super young.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a goal to go back to Japan. Just because I really like the Japanese wrestling style. I feel
Mm,
like it works really well with my style of wrestling. And I don't know. I just think it's the most expressive, and it can be the most emotional style of wrestling when done
Mm.
right. Um, that and just going over to Japan for the culture in general.
mm.
It's something I've wanted to do ever since the last time I was there, which was 7 years ago. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, I'm hoping I can go back soon.
Well, I guess that's the benefit of being your own boss in wrestling. Doing your own thing is if you want to go back, I'm sure you can. I'm sure they'd have you back. I'm sure there's other companies over there that'd be happy to have you. So I'm guessing that's a big benefit. When you're your own boss, do your own thing, you can wrestle where you want to. And
Right.
is that something that you enjoy more when you're not signed to a contract? Is being able to do your own thing both creatively and, like I said, getting to travel wherever you want?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm like, there was a lot of fun in WWE. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot of good experiences, but I'm having way more fun now. Like,
Sure.
I can make my own schedule. If I want to take a week or two off, I don't have to get
Mm.
it approved by anybody.
Yeah.
I don't feel like when you work for WWE, you're on call 24/7. Even if you
Yeah.
are on vacation, you still feel like you're going to get a call like, "Hey, you got to come in and do this." Like
Yeah.
it's like that 24/7. So there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of pressure. And even when I would go, if I had had a day off, I would never be relaxed because I would constantly feel on edge. Because there was times where it would be like, literally there was a time where it was my birthday and I was supposed to have the day off. I took my brother to Disney. We're like an hour or two into our Disney day, and I get a call like, "Hey, you got to come up here and film a promo right now." And I'm like, "This can't wait until tomorrow at TV." And they're like, "No, you got to come in right now." So I had to leave, drop everything I was doing, and I had to go in. So when you deal with a lot of that, which you know what you're signing up for when you sign with WWE, which is fine, but when you have a lot of stuff like that happen, you're very on edge 24/7 because
Yeah,
you
I
never
bet.
know when you're just going to get a call. Hey, you got to come in right now. Or hey, like I've gotten calls before where I've been 2-3 hours away at a live event and I get a call, "Hey, you're flying out tomorrow at like 9 a.m. to come do Raw." And you're 3 hours out doing a live event show and you have to come back home, try to pack, try to do all this stuff and be ready to fly out the next day to go to Raw. Like it's it's a blessing and a curse. But
Sure.
and the thing is now is like I have that freedom and I don't have that. Sorry, my dog's pitter pattering on the floor.
That's all right. My dog's in here as well, so but you're all right.
But just having the freedom to make my own schedule, not feeling like I'm gonna get a call while I'm having a nice day out with my family
Yeah.
or something, being told to come in, like these are the things that I'm really appreciating right now in my time independently. And like you said, getting to do whatever I want with my character, getting to wrestle however I want for the first time in years. Because I
Mhm.
think a lot of people have this misconception that when you're in WWE, you can do whatever you want. It's up to you to be a star. It's up to you to have good matches. It's not true. It's up to your producers. It's up to your opponents. It's all this big machine.
Mm.
And for a lot of my time in WWE, I really wasn't allowed in one way or another to wrestle the style that I like to wrestle. I wasn't a lot of times allowed to hit my bridging Germans and some of my big kicks and some of my moveset. Like I wasn't allowed to do, whether that was because I was wrestling opponents that didn't want to take the stuff or I was having producers that wouldn't allow me to put those things in my matches. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're wrestling so much better now." And I'm like, "No, I'm wrestling how I was wrestling before WWE. It's just
Yeah.
WWE in one way or another wasn't allowing me to have these kind of matches on TV." So
Yeah.
I'm getting to actually wrestle the way I want to wrestle now.
But I mean, even as a fan, you could tell, like, it wasn't in a bad way. You could just tell it's a different style that you were doing from the independents.
Yeah.
And like I said, it wasn't like people thinking, it wasn't like you were completely different wrestler. There were still parts of you there. But Gigi Dolin in the ring was very different to Priscilla Kelly.
Yeah.
And was there any parts of Gigi Dolin which you did come up with? Like, I know that like there'll be parts obviously that you had an input on, but how much of it was you and how much of it was WWE?
Um, so my hat, my whole kind of look was always mine before WWE.
Yeah.
Which is part of why I keep it all now because it belonged to me. My moniker, everything like that was mine. I think WWE, especially during the NXT 2.0 era, I leaned more toward like this. It was like I would say my Toxic Attraction era was like a sexy, like more pin-up-y or um the different kind of version. That was 100% WWE 2.0. They wanted a little bit of an edgier, sexier side to things. And being with Toxic Attraction, I think like that character was much different than what I would consider my real character to be. And don't get me wrong, it was fun. Like I did a lot of different stuff with my looks and I kind of was just trying to have fun with what I was given. And besides that, I mean, I tried really hard to make every promo mine in any way that I could. And I think I got in a really good spot with one of the writers where I was given the privilege of getting to work on my promos myself. A lot of people, they'll just get handed a script and they're like, "Go do this." Like, I was really privileged to be able to work with writers to write some of my promos and really make some of them come from the heart. And some of my promos are real life stories. Some of the promos come from real life because my character was based on real life stuff. Like the stuff about my brother that I brought to TV a couple years ago in the storylines, that was all true. So when you're watching these promos and I'm like emotional and stuff, it's because it's all from a real place.
Yeah.
Right. Like these weren't scripted, made up stories. Like this all came from real places. And I tried to, with everything I do, I try to make everything come from a real place. I try to make everything have some kind of like meaning to it. So it's not just superficial.
Yeah. That's how you connect with the audience. I mean, I've never, I mean, I'm not in the business, but I've never understood handing someone a script. Like you just said, it's got to be you. It's got to come from the heart. I mean, could you imagine someone giving Dusty Rhodes a script, back in the 80s, or Ric Flair a script? I need to feel it. And like you said, I need that connection. And that's how you do it, not with scripts.
Right.
I'm sure Callum agrees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I think the people that in wrestling that you form the most connections with, the people where you believe that they believe what they're saying. And there were so many times when you were in NXT where you were doing a promo and I thought, this is a really good promo. I think they're actually going to do something with Gigi Dolin now. This might be a push. And it was very stop, start, stop, start. Is that how you felt as well backstage, seeing it all unfold?
Yeah. It's like I came in and within 6 months I was put with Toxic Attraction. They put the tag belts on us and it felt like it was just going up and up and up and up. Yeah. And then once somewhere toward that last year of being with Toxic Attraction, I went through like a really bad depression for various reasons behind the scenes. But I went through a really bad mental state where like I wasn't myself anymore. I didn't feel like myself. I felt lost and I felt very like stagnant. And, I put on weight and I stopped caring about how I looked in the ring because I was so depressed. And it's not that I wasn't grateful to be there, but you can't help how you're feeling inside, whether you're grateful to be somewhere or not. You can't help how you feel. And I went through a really, really bad time mentally there, and it showed in my work, it showed in my body, it showed in my mannerisms and everything. And I lost a big part of myself during that chunk of time. And then when I came back to do single stuff once Toxic had broken up, it was very stop, start, stop, start. I felt like, okay, we're going to do something cool. And then it would just fizzle out. And, part of that could have been because I wasn't in the best place mentally and I maybe wasn't giving my best performances at that time. And I do take accountability for that. But it didn't help my state of mind to be given the ball and then have it taken away and given the ball and taken it away. And like one of the last storylines that I was in that I really enjoyed before I got injured, the year before I got injured, I was in a storyline with B. Priestley or Blair Davenport. Yeah. And I was so excited because me and B are like best friends. So I was so excited to do a program with her. And we had all these ideas and we were like, hell yeah, this is going to be awesome because we have a similar wrestling style. We both like that hard hitting Japanese, throw you around, gritty style. And we just knew we could do so much with it. And they were like, oh yeah, your big blow off matches next week. And we're like, that's it? Like we have this storyline, we have all these ideas and it's only going to be a 2-week program. Like, yeah. And it was so discouraging. And I understand that like other people you're not always going to be the focal point of the show. And I understand that. I know that everything's a cycle and people are going to cycle in and cycle out. But man, I had just been dying for somebody to give me the opportunity for something more than a 1 or 2 match program. But besides that, I just kept grinding and I kept trying to get myself out of this funk and I felt like I did. And I started getting called up to do main events on Raw and I was having great matches. I had like an amazing match with Chelsea Green and I had matches with like Xia Li. I was having all these matches up on main roster for main event. And I really felt like this is it. Like I'm going to get the call up. I'm getting to show off like what I can really do. I'm getting out of that mental headspace that I was in. And then sure enough, like I tore and flipped. It's called a bucket handle tear. I tore my meniscus and it flipped in training at 9 a.m. in the morning on a Friday. Because God bless her. It's not her fault. It was early, and stuff happens. So I'm not like upset about it, but it was a spinning toe hold gone wrong. So, but anyways, so then I'm out for 6 months, and I come back, and at least from when I came back, it was at least great because I got to do a lot of really cool stuff. But before that, sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
No.
But yeah,
You can go off all you want. You can swear. You do what you want.
yeah, it was very it was a 4-year roller coaster ride working there. It was there was great moments, and then there was really low points. So my thing is I don't ever want to pretend that everything was perfect, but I won't pretend that everything was awful either. I think as a whole, it was an experience working there, and there was a lot of good that came from it, and there was a lot of bad that came from it, unfortunately.
Sure.
But that's everybody that works there,
I think from a fan's point of view, it's really easy for us to see these characters on TV every week and just assume that everyone is happy backstage and having these great lives, and forget that they're actually real people, not just characters. So it's always interesting to hear about what their experience was like backstage. But I think the best thing you can take from it is you probably did learn a lot there in NXT. You were surrounded by amazing coaches, trainers, the HBK. What a guy. Speaking of, did you ever get to pick Shawn Michaels' brain about anything or any of the experienced coaches there? I mean, what was that experience like, having those coaches there to tap into?
Getting to work with some of those coaches was one of my favorite things that I got to take from NXT. Just getting to work underneath Terry Taylor and Fit Finlay and Norman Smiley and Robbie Brookside. The list goes on. Johnny Moss was my coach for most of my time there. Wow. And I just think that's the biggest privilege that I had, was getting to work with these great minds of wrestling. And every single coach there thinks differently. Every single one has a different philosophy. So you're getting so many different inputs and opinions on wrestling. So it's honestly one of my favorite things. And I built such a good relationship with some of the coaches there that I think will last a lifetime. And so I think if anybody goes in and out of their system, the best thing you can do is spend time with the coaches. Actually treat them with the respect that they deserve, because there's a lot of people that come in and out of there and they don't even know the coaches' names. They don't know who they're working with. They don't know their body of work. And these men and women with Sarah, they're incredible. They're incredible minds. And I wish I spent a lot of time with them, but somehow I wish I would have spent even more time just picking their brains and seeing what ideas they had. And but everyone is great there. The coaches were absolutely great.
So that's the thing, that as well, the names you just mentioned, I think they go under the radar. People always mention Shawn Michaels, William Regal, Matt Bloom, but you forget this. I mean, Alan's Norman Smiley been there. Terry Taylor is a legend. Finlay, like you said, Robbie Brookside is obviously he's one of our greatest British wrestlers.
Definitely.
And these guys go under the radar. So it was nice to hear you say those names, but one that you mentioned that I just want to touch on a bit more, because you hear it from a lot of the females we spoke to before. Fit Finlay, we always hear that he's very instrumental with the women's division. Was he someone that you spent more time with than the others?
So I was with Fit in his class on and off. I want to say I was with Fit for 6 months or more. So the way the classes work is usually every 6 months. It used to be every 6 months you would change classes and you would go to a different class. Now my last year or so there, it was kind of whoever you were with that person for the year. So I was with Fit for 6 months or so. I might be wrong, but Fit was great. He definitely was the person you went to when you wanted your strikes to look really good. He was the person you went to when you wanted some real grit and aggression in your matches.
He's a legit badass, isn't he?
Oh yeah, I feel Fit could kill somebody right now with his bare hands.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree there. But it's just a name that whenever we spoke to female talent before, he always comes up. So it's nice to get your perspective as well on that. And again, he's a guy I think he's so underrated, doesn't get the praise that he deserves.
Yeah,
So the other thing, obviously, I mean, you mentioned Toxic Attraction. Was there ever any plans to go to the main roster, or was it just an NXT gig? Obviously, Mandy got released, didn't we? Which was a shock. But was there ever any bigger plans?
Yeah, I think we all, especially towards the end, I think we all really thought it was going to go to the main roster. We so me and JC had tag matches on SmackDown, and we had two matches actually on SmackDown for it was like a tournament or something like that.
The title tournament, was it? I think. Or
yeah, and we had good showings, and everything was just really projected for us to go to the main roster together, and it just never happened. And then I think in the time that it would have happened, Mandy had gotten released at that point, so it just didn't go in that direction. But because same with me, Shotzi, and Tatum, we thought we were 100% going to the main roster.
Yeah.
We were told that we were getting we were going that direction, and then it never happened. So you can't get your hopes up for sure in WWE, because you'll get told a million things and none of them will happen, and then you'll get told nothing and then everything will happen. Yeah. So
that's the other thing I was going to make. Obviously you, Shotzi and Tatum, because I mean I loved you guys. I mean you guys were just amazing. My non-wrestling fan wife, who is now a wrestling fan, would watch NXT for you three. She thought you were great. And then, like you said, another thing that I just feel like they dropped the ball with you guys. I mean,
for sure. I think that there's a problem sometimes with NXT, and it doesn't happen to everybody, but it's like when there's an act that's really hot and main roster ready, they'll leave it just a little bit too long. Yeah. And maybe some interest will fade, or something will happen where someone gets injured. And then because they didn't strike when the iron was hot, things just change and they don't get called up to the main roster, and then it just seems to go out the window, any plans that they had. And I think you, Shotzi and Tatum, were just so main roster ready. I think we all expected as well that you were going to be debuting any time now. But it's one of those things where it didn't happen. And I think you're all in better places now, whether that's mentally or with your wrestling as well. It's good to see that you're getting to wrestle in Japan, which is something you wanted to do. You're doing all of those other things that you wanted to do outside of WWE. But yeah, I do find sometimes they'll leave it just a little bit too long in NXT when they should have done something a little bit sooner. Is that how some people feel backstage, or is that mainly from a fan's point of view like ourselves?
I know there's people backstage that definitely felt like they should have been called to main roster a long time ago. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's not even based on the fact if you as a wrestler are ready for the opportunity. Sometimes it's just a matter of timing on the main roster. Who can they use at this point? What kind of characters are they looking for right this second? And sometimes people get lucky and they fit that mold of what they're looking for right there at that moment. Maxine was a great example. She was in NXT for maybe a year, definitely less than 2 years. And that's what they were looking for right then and there. And she got called up immediately. So sometimes it's just a timing issue. It's not even based on if people are ready or if they, it's just timing. And that was one of the things that Hunter told me himself, because when I went up to do a main event, one of the last times I said, hey, what can I do to get up here? I want to come to the main roster. What do I need to do? What do I need to improve on? What do I need to do to get here? And he said straight from his mouth, it's just timing. Mm-hmm. And it really is. Everything is just timing. And who knows, if me and Shotzi wouldn't have gotten injured and we would have started the group a year before we did, if things would have been different. Because when me and Shotzi and Tatum were put together, that was the happiest I was in my entire career there. I was myself. I felt like I was being who I was again. I was having fun. We were all having fun. Because Shotzi, we and Shotzi, we were friends before we were put together. So it was going to work anyways. And then Tatum, we all just clicked. And I was so happy with what we had created. We looked great on TV. We all had good chemistry. We looked cool. We were connecting with fans. Fans
you made my wife a fan. What's that? That says it all, right?
It was so fun, and I felt like we could do anything. Like, there were so many ideas that we were pitching, and so much we wanted to do with the group, and we were kind of told, like, we want to give you guys a good run, and then we want to bring this to main roster. We want to get you guys to the main roster, and um we 100% thought that that's the direction we were going. Now, me and Tatum split off. We did some stuff in TNA, and then it circled back around to Stand and Deliver, where Shotzi reconvened with us at Stand and Deliver, and we were like, okay, we did great at Stand and Deliver. We just had this tag team match against Liv and Raquel for the tag team titles, and we've just been having tag opportunities at TNA. Like, there's nowhere we can go but up. Like, we're really, like, this is it. Like, we were all happy. We were all feeling it. Like, this is it. And then I'm thinking, like, I'm getting the call that I'm going to, like, Maine or something, and it was the call that I was getting released. So it was really confusing. I'm like, if you would have fired me when I was, like, fat, depressed, and sucked, like, I would have understood that. But you let me go at a time where I felt like I finally got my groove back, and I was busting my ass. Like, I mean, I was busting my ass to get back to where I should be as a wrestler, and physically and mentally and everything. And also me and Shotzi both coming back from injuries. Like, that takes a lot of grit and hard work and pain. And it's an emotional toll to go through that, and to come back, have this really fun, promising run, and then just get told, no, that's it, you're gone. Like, it was crazy.
It must be confusing as a wrestler to be doing the best work of your life, and you're thinking, I'm firing on all cylinders here, and then to get that call, you think, well, yeah. But again, that's how WWE has worked, and the industry has worked for a long time. You can be doing the best work of your life, and you see these people getting released, these talents getting released, and you think that makes no sense whatsoever. No. They couldn't be in the middle of a storyline sometimes, and they get released.
Oh yeah,
and you think, it's crazy.
They'll just, it's like the week that I got released, me and Tatum, we filmed one backstage where it looked like we were going to go into some kind of storyline with Carmen Petrovic. And I was like, okay, so I guess we're going into a thing with her. But it was kind of a vague backstage promo. And then Jakara Jackson, they had her film a promo that week as well, where out of the blue, she gets written off and out of Metaphor. She's leaving Metaphor. Yeah. Just out of the blue. And it was like, so you kind of saw hers coming, because they wrote her off TV for no explained reason, or they wrote her out of the group for no explained reason. But ours, it was like, it looked like they were setting up for another storyline. So it was like,
that's what we thought. That's what we thought. Yeah. Thought, oh, at least they're doing something. And then when it happened, I thought, wait, not that. That's
yeah.
But
I mean, it is what it is. Like, I understand that it's a business, and I understand that sometimes things are out of a lot of people's control. Like, I know there was a lot of coaches down at the Performance Center that were pretty caught off guard too by it, and pretty disappointed, because I mean, like, Matt Bloom was one of the coaches that was really rooting for me for really all of my time in NXT. And I've said it before that, like, him and I, like, when I initially got there, we butted heads a lot, because he's very strong-minded and I can be very strong-minded. So we butted heads a lot. But at the end of the day, like, he was one of my biggest encouragers during my time there. And, like, I think he definitely was one of the people that I think was caught off guard by my release. But it's like everybody that I had grown very close to during my time there they were all rooting for me to get there, because I had been in NXT for so long. At that point, it was like everybody just wanted me to get to the main roster, to get out of the NXT bubble. And then I think, when I got released, it was like, what the hell? Like,
but we felt the same. We felt the same. I think it was either I text Callum or Callum text me, and you both kind of like, what the, because it was working. It was so, you and Shotzi and Tatum, it was money.
The good thing is, though, what we've gathered from this, like, speaking to you now, is it was, did you say it was 4 years that he was there? 4 years in NXT.
Yeah, I think we were going on 5.
Yeah.
Going on
yeah.
5 years. But look at
Yeah.
how much you've learned in that time. The Priscilla
Right.
Kelly that has left NXT now and now is back on the Indies knows so much more than the Priscilla Kelly who came in. And
Mhm.
you know, you're still only young, and it might not even be the last time. I don't know what your thoughts are personally, but never say never with WWE, as people say. This could just be the first of, there could be a next time that this happens, and who knows. But the future of Priscilla Kelly, I think it's something we're all interested in. We've spoken about the past and stuff and all the things that went with it, but what does the future look like for Priscilla Kelly? You started in Japan, what more is there to do? Have you got anything planned that you're looking forward to?
Well, so I've done a lot just since getting released. I came right out of the gates of my 30 days with bookings and bookings and bookings. And that's why I'm saying, like, it was a lot of time that I could have done other things when I was there, but I think I came out of all of my time in NXT with so much growth and maturity and experience, and I'm so grateful that I got to do that and grow and have those experiences that made me now like the Priscilla Kelly 2.0. Because I feel like years ago I definitely had a good grip on like who I was as a wrestler before WWE. But I was still like, I was very naive. I was very young. I did lack, I had a good bit of experience and overseas experience and things like that, but I was lacking like a deeper experience in this profession. And I think NXT gave me that depth to myself as a wrestler in the ring and a wrestler as a human being. So this version of me now feels more complete, I guess I'll say. So I came right out of my 30 days with just tons of bookings. And I've had a lot of like high caliber matches, and it's been a very busy, exhausting, brutal summer, but like it's been amazing. I've had matches with my fiance Zachary Wentz and Charles Mason, and I mean, I've wrestled some really incredible people, and I'm only going to continue to do it. I'm wrestling in Alaska in 2 weeks at GCW's Alaska show. I'm wrestling Billy Starks.
Amazing.
I just had really 2 huge matches with Giselle Shaw for the Destiny Women's Championship, where I won it and then I lost it again at Maple Leaf Pro. But like I just getting to wrestle like really talented people and getting to have these balls to the wall type matches that I love to have.
Charles Mason, I mean, we've spoken to him on the show before. What a guy. I mean, I say what a guy. He did
threaten to murder you.
He did threaten to kill me.
But
that's just Charles Mason for you.
Yeah.
But I saw that some of the snippets of that match. I haven't seen the thing in the full length match yet, but what was it like getting to wrestle Charles Mason, an absolute psychopath?
Can I just add to that, Priscilla? Sorry, can I just add? Yeah, that question Callum asked as well. But what is your thoughts as well on intergender? Because I think it's brilliant. I think it's got a place in wrestling done right. So I mean, your thoughts as well as obviously Charles Mason, but your thoughts on that as well.
Well, so the thing about that match is, I was really excited for it, but it happened only like a month into me wrestling again. So after getting released from WWE, I had that 30 days. And in that 30 days, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you need to be grinding and you need to be doing this and that and this and that. And no, like, it's emotional. Whether you loved or hated your time in WWE, it's emotional getting released in one way or another. And you have a lot of getting your shit together to do. And so in that 30 days, it was a lot of getting my shit together. I had a lot of calls to make. I had a lot of bookings. I had a lot of things I had to line up, and it's exhausting mentally. And my point is, I wasn't having matches. I wasn't training a lot in that 30 days. So when I came out of that 30 days, it was like starting from scratch, and I had to get my ring shape back in real time in real matches. So only being a month into my indie return at that point. I was dying in that match with Charles Mason. You can probably see it on my face. I mean, I am dying in that match. It was like 100 degrees. It was humid in that building. And I had to wrestle this guy that I knew was going to bring it and definitely like make me work for this match. And I was I love that. Like that's my favorite kind of match to have, but I was like, oh shit, like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to breathe. But anyways, I got through it. It was one of the more brutal matches that I've had so far in this return. And but it's also one of my favorite matches that I've had.
And it was quite a personal feud as well, wasn't it? With you, Zachary and Charles. Yeah, it was a really good feud from what I've seen. All the bits online seemed really good. Yeah.
He definitely look, I beat Charles Mason, but oh my god, he whooped my ass. He whooped my ass. And honestly, I want a rematch because I did love working with him. I loved the match. I love the dynamic too, because he's got that weird character and I have a weird character and I think it just works. And he had a match with Zachary like what, a month ago now, something like that. Based off of that match with me. And if anybody hasn't checked out Charles Mason versus Zachary Wentz, I think it's one of the best matches of the year, but I don't know, I'm a little biased. But their match was insane. So but yeah, I mean, I like any kind of match that you know gets me fired up. Like years ago I wrestled like guys and stuff and or women that have that little bit of an edge and like I think Giselle Shaw is one of those people that like, you know, you're gonna have to step it up a little bit when you step in the ring with Giselle. And I love that. I love that intensity. I love what it brings out of me. I love to try to bring that out of other people. It's very like passionate wrestling.
Yeah, I love it. And Giselle Shaw, like you said, great wrestler. I think she's absolutely fantastic and still underrated somehow. Like I know we're throwing that word around a lot tonight, but it's well deserved with Giselle. I think there's so much more she's going to be able to do in the future. I do want to derail slightly. I'm a massive fan of the Paranormal, and I've got to ask before we start to wrap up. So I watch Scarlett and Shotzi on YouTube with the Ghost Hunting channel, and I've seen you pop up every now and then. Is this like an interest that you've got as well? Are you interested in the paranormal? And how was it getting to spend the time in the haunted lighthouse?
So I would say like I'm very, very into the paranormal and history. I'm very into that stuff. However, there's lines that I don't cross. I don't fuck with Ouija boards. I don't fuck with speaking to, invoking anything, provoking anything. I don't do that. Because it depends on what kind of people I'm talking to right now, but some people will say I'm crazy. If that's fine. I've seen a lot of shit in my day. You don't know what the fuck you're talking to when you get involved. Okay? You don't know what you're talking to. You don't know what you're inviting into your life. So I am interested. I'm involved, but there's a line I don't cross. With that being said, we went. So Jamie Senegal joined me for that. And Jamie Senegal is one of my best friends. She's an amazing wrestler too. Yes, you should check her out. She's another one that doesn't get her flowers. But anyways, we went. This isn't even relevant. But we showed up and like we were starving. So we went to McDonald's and we ordered. They were selling the chicken Big Macs at the time. We ordered a bunch of chicken Big Macs and fries, and we're in the car just shoveling this food in our mouths, like the scene from the SpongeBob movie where they're eating the sundaes and they're just like eating it. That's how we were eating in the car. And then we get out, we're so bloated, and we're looking at each other like, we have to go be on camera next to Scarlett and Shotzi after we just smashed all this sodium-filled food. We're gonna look bloated. We're gonna look like shit next to them. We're like, they're so hot, and we're gonna show up full of McDonald's. Like, so. Anyways, that's how the night started.
Great stuff.
And then, it was honestly really lighthearted and fun. And then we got into the lighthouse. Now, first of all, I love St. Augustine. I've explored St. Augustine a billion times. It's one of my favorite places to go. Me and Zach have our own paranormal stories from visiting St. Augustine. But I had never been in the lighthouse. And so we get halfway through the lighthouse. It's creepy, but it's like, okay, you know. And then we got this recording of a little girl's footsteps back on the audio recorder. Like we recorded we were saying stuff or whatever. And then when we played it back, we got this little girl's footsteps running up the stairs in the lighthouse. And it was at that point, it was like, oh shit. Like, what are we? Me and Jamie are just like, what the fuck? And then, so anyways, but the lighthouse was pretty scary. Like we got like some, like that. And, I think Scarlett like got like tapped on the head, and Jamie was feeling all kinds of Jamie was feeling a lot of weird stuff in that lighthouse. But we went into this room where this guy died of tuberculosis, and I started getting like a sore throat, like I couldn't breathe, I started choking, and it's weird stuff started happening in there. And Jamie like saw this like black figure run from the hallway and run between all of us. None of us saw it, but she did. And we all felt a cold chill. And at one point in that video, you can see the look on me and Jamie's face because we are ready to get the fuck out of there. Like we're trying to hide it because we're not trying to seem like pussies. But I'm just like I get this look on my face, and I gave Jamie a look at one point. I'm like, let's go. Like, we can like just say your stomach hurts, like something. And the whole drive home, because it's like a 2-hour drive, so the whole drive home that night, we were both just like sick. And Jamie had to sleep in the bed with me last night. We had to put on SpongeBob marathons.
Something lighthearted to get
yeah. Wow.
Oh, I love that. I had to ask because, like I said, we're both big fans of the paranormal. I'm a bit more skeptical, but
I've just shit myself now with you when you said about like hearing little girls' feet, and I've just started hearing humming, and I've just realized it's my wife upstairs putting our little boy to bed. But
that's it, Jamie.
And I was like, what? Yeah, but it's my wife. Yeah, but
well,
yeah, we could talk about that forever because me and Callum argue all the time because he's more into the paranormal. I'm
into UFOs and paranormal and all that kind of stuff. I'm into anything that's a bit weird.
We have this big argument, Priscilla, about Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot's real. He doesn't. We could go on for.
I know what he's going to ask. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
I don't not believe in anything. Like I think there's potential for everything to be real in some form or another. I think the idea of like what some of these things are, like some of these like folklore things, I think they are all real in some capacity, but I think sometimes humans make their own idea of what they think what they think they are.
Yeah.
But I don't deny that any of this stuff is real. Like what was it the other day that was on like TikTok? It was all over my TikTok. They're like rakes.
Oh yeah.
They're like some kind of creepy like folklore thing that's in the woods. I don't know. Jamie used to tell me all about these like skinwalkers in Arizona.
Yeah, they're terrifying.
Skinwalkers fascinate me.
No, I think that's the thing that I'd want to bump into the least in a forest. Like a skinwalker. They just sound horrible.
In Florida, we don't have those. We just have crackheads.
Crackheads, skinwalkers.
Well, we have them here as well.
Yeah, we have them here as well.
Yeah. I work at the local hospital, and they're literally outside of there every single day, so I know exactly how that one goes.
The thing is, I'm glad I mentioned this at the end of the podcast because I could have done a full episode just on paranormal, cryptids, anything like that. Yeah. So I'm glad we got some wrestling in there before.
And just for the record, Callum, Bigfoot is real.
All right.
We'll argue this till one of us dies. You know, Captain Skeptic over here will wind me up. But before we wrap up, because we know obviously you've got things to do better than speaking to us two idiots. But we always ask as well. I mean, you've been to Japan. Is the UK in the sights? Is that a place you're looking to come over to and work?
Yeah, I did go. I went to the UK for only one time for one full month. And so yeah, that's definitely been on my list of like places I want to go back to. I want to go back to Pro Wrestling Eve.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. Like I know like the landscape of wrestling has changed a lot over there, just like it has here in the States.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different I think there's a lot of newer companies.
A lot.
It's kind of the same as it is here. Like here wrestling, the independent scene changed a lot since COVID. But I definitely want to go back. I'm really hoping that I can start doing more international tours with Zachary. We want to tag together, do mixed tag, intergender tag,
That'd be
or
awesome.
even if people bring him over for a singles and me over for something else, like that's fine too. But like my goal right now is to just do more international stuff with Zach. And one of those is like definitely want to go to the UK with him, and I definitely want to go to Japan with him because back in the day when I went to Japan, he was there at the same time as me, but we weren't friends. So we were there at the same time, but we didn't hang out. So we need to go together so we can go to the Tokyo Disney, and we need to go to the UK together. I want to go to Paris with him so we can go to Paris Disney. Really, we'd like to tour all of the Disneys throughout the world together. So if people could book us where that works out, thank you.
Well, wherever you are in the UK, we'll be there because we try and get to whatever we can. So we'll keep eyes on that. Absolutely. One last thing as well, I forgot to mention. I'm actually meeting Shotzi in February. She's coming over for a wrestling convention. So, how do I handle that one? Is she pretty cool?
Oh, Shotzi's amazing. And she look, Shotzi's one of the best people in the world. She's so fun, and she's literally my best friend. Even though sometimes we have to fight each other because sometimes she's a bitch, but we but I love her to death. She's so fun. You can talk to her about literally anything, and she's the best girl in the whole world. So you're gonna love her. Make sure you bring her some Monster Munch to give to me because I love Monster Munch.
Pickled onion.
Yes.
I will do that. I will make sure I'll do a note. I'll bring
Do that, Jamie.
Particular flavor or
Pickled onion.
Yeah, the pickled onion, like the classic, I think.
I will make sure I give Shotzi some pickled onion Monster Munch for you.
That's my favorite in the whole world. You can't get it here, so.
Oh,
I like those. And hold on, what is the lion bars?
the lion bar.
Lion, yes.
Good choice.
I like those too.
Lion bars and Monster Munch. Jamie, get it on the list.
I will hook you up because it just so happens that my mum works at one of the big supermarkets as well, so I'll make sure we stock you up on pickled onion Monster Munch and lion bars. That's a deal. But before we go, it's been an absolute pleasure, and we always like to, we'd love to get you back in the future, see where you're at, if that's something you'd be up for, because this has
genuinely
been
a bucket list interview for us, and
when I
just
said
saying
at the
that
beginning,
it's
bucket list. Yeah, we've followed you since before. I mean, from the start, since before WWE. When we say bucket list, we're not just saying that because you're there. This is a genuine thank you bucket list moment. So thank you for that. But before you go, did you want to promote anything? Plug your merch sites? Anything you want to mention?
Yeah. So all my shirts are on prowrestlingtees.com/Priscilla Kelly. Very easy to find. Herman Eugene, my lovely pug. I was gonna put him on camera, but he just left. He's got his own shirt now available on my Pro Wrestling Tees. The Crimes of Herman Eugene. If you support pugs committing crime, buy a shirt. I'm in the works of getting my big cartel set up so that I can actually get online 8x10s and things like that. But for right now, 8x10s and stickers. Come see me at shows. Upcoming, what do I have? I have a lot coming up. I know I have Alaska October 4th with GCW. I have AWF in Arizona this Saturday. Last time I went there, the fans were incredible, like so awesome. Like I got to meet one of my bigger fans. Like they brought me shirts, all kinds of stuff. They were awesome. And then I'm going back to Blitzkrieg Pro October 11th with Zachary, and that one's going to be really fun. So definitely check that out. I've got a lot. I'm looking at my calendar right now, and I'm like, if I start naming off all of this, it's going to be a lot. But always check my social media because that's where I post all my booking information, where I post all my upcoming shows, appearances, all that. And my Twitter or X is Hell's Favorite PK. My Instagram is still Gigi Dolin _WWE because I can't change my username. Everybody's like, why are you still WWE? Are you trying to hold on to hope? No, I can't change it. If I could, I would. Can't change it. When I can, you'll know. It'll be Hell's Favorite PK when it is changed. And then I do post my YouTube vlogs, my little behind the scenes of my independent wrestling travels. And I'm actually going to post a vlog of my cruise that me and Zach just went on soon. I'm a little behind because it takes hours to edit these damn things, but check out my vlogs on YouTube, Hell's Favorite PK. And I don't really use TikTok, but I have one. So
Don't use
there's
TikTok.
everything.
No.
Well, luckily Callum's a genius and a graphic designer, web designer, so he'll put everything up for you. What you Callum, it'll all be.
But thanks.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can just about turn this laptop on. So Callum does all.
Even that's a challenge.
That is a big challenge. It really is a massive challenge. It really is. But on that note, it has been an absolute pleasure, Priscilla. I genuinely appreciate it. Like I said, bucket list for us. Thank you so much, Priscilla Kelly.
Thanks, guys.